Hey, Brian, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
In the HR and payroll world that's filled with so many different systems, what advice would you give to someone who's looking to simplify things?
That is a great question. And it makes me think of this time I was working for a consultant, and it was crazy because all the clients had different systems. A lot of times, like you use one system for all your clients, but no. So I was terrified. And the one system that really stood out to me was Bamboo HR. Made my life so much easier. Do what we did and get a free demo of bamboohr.com/free demo. Get back to doing what you actually love in HR. Go to bamboohr.com/free demo. That's bamboohr.com/free demo. If the squeaky wheel gets the oil, if the employee does not say something, then nothing happens. And that's what they're saying. Welcome to our podcast, It's About Payroll. We're your hosts, Brian Escobar and Walter William Duncan III. Whether you're new to the payroll game or a seasoned veteran, we have something for you. Welcome back, folks. This is episode 130. Woof. And 141 and 41 of It's About Your Paycheck. We're still in a place where we're doing two at one. It may and will break up before we get into the rest of the show. What's up, Walt? How you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm good. Got my blue flamingo shirt on, so
Yeah,
tropical. I'm in a tropical state of mind. How about you, man?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. I always love the shirt when you wear the shirt. I'm like, oh, no doubt, he's feeling it today. He's chilling. I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank God. Like I just said, hey, we gotta be efficient. The Yankees are playing. The Giants are playing. I'm freaking out New York sports wise.
But
it's
New York
fun.
Liberty won the
I haven't got.
WNBA.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
The first. Yeah.
See, amazing. I'm loving sports right now. I haven't gotten into the WNBA yet. Caitlin Clark definitely. I was already aware of it, so she didn't put WA on the map for me. But I'm like, it definitely. Oh wow, they still are doing a thing, no doubt.
Definitely good players, man.
Yeah, and so now I definitely want to watch more. And she's blowing it up right now, currently with the deal that she's going overseas. And I'm not mad at her, man. I saw one of the posts about what she's going through in the league, and I was like, go get your money, girl. What do you think about that? You're a I think you're more of a basketball fan than I. What do you think about the whole Caitlin Clark situation?
I think she's a great player. I think a lot of players felt some kind of way because she was coming in and like they were anointing her like the next great one in the game and stuff like that. And she was like bringing like lots of ratings, lots of viewership and stuff like that. And so I think it was good for the game. It brought more money.
More money.
I think the WNBA could bring in even more money for their growth compared to their male counterparts.
Yep.
They're grossly underpaid, and they've been playing some good games, man. Like that finals for the WNBA was great.
We got to do sports pay.
Yeah.
Sports pay. And because this is another great example of, not a great example, unfortunately, but another example of how women are underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I get popularity, but come on, we could definitely. I'm glad it's still going and it's still growing, so that's cool. Yeah,
man. Angel Reese, her, all those different players.
Yeah, no, I hear you. See, that's cool.
Yeah, man.
All right, bro. You want to start us off? We got pay news coming up.
Yeah, I do. I have a quick article from calmatters.org, and it talks about when employers steal wages from workers. So it's an article from 2022, and it just gives some stats and stuff like that about how employers may deny overtime premiums and ask employees to work off the clock and or take their tips. There's a stat on here that said back in 2015 that in California, workers lost nearly $2 billion from not being paid minimum wage. This is 2015. You know what I'm saying?
The whole state or?
The whole state.
Okay. That I get.
Yeah, the whole state.
California?
Yep, in California.
Because California has the most W-2 employees, so that makes sense.
Yep.
Wow.
And they said that most of the victims of the wage theft were often women, immigrants, and people of color.
You see what I'm saying? We're just talking about, oh my
many in restaurants, construction, hotels, car washes,
blue collar,
garment businesses, farms, warehouses, and nail salons.
Frontline labor, like frontline workers. Blue collar.
And there was a one liner on here that I found interesting, and it teed me off a little bit. It said that
Mm.
usually no one goes to jail for the theft, for stealing from the wages
The
from the
OT
employee.
stealing, right? Yeah, who who was I just saying this to? I was telling somebody recently. We build these things because they're like insurance, right? Some of the
Hmm.
things are if nobody ever if the squeaky wheel gets the oil, if the employee does
Yeah.
not say something, then nothing happens, and that's what they're saying.
And look, for me, if the shoe was on the other foot and the employee was the one that was stealing from the employer,
Oh, you're going
they
immediately.
want to charge him, want to
Yeah, you're
arrest
going to
him,
jail.
go to jail.
Arrested, fired.
So I just find that interesting dynamic that the employer can steal from the employee.
But it's a
And
it. Oh my gosh! And it should get us angry. It should get everybody out there that gets a check angry. Even if, thank God, if your company doesn't do it to you. But think about it, employee right. It. I'm not so much. Oh, it has to be a union situation, but
hmm
everybody that is an employee, a W-2 employee, has something in common as far as employee rights,
hmm
and that these things should be like, hey, let's all make sure that because oh my gosh, imagine if all employees were speaking up about things like this.
hmm
See, and that's why California is aggressive. It justifies their aggressiveness, their employee, how would we say, employee friendly,
eccentric, yeah,
employee centric. Yeah, I couldn't think
yeah.
of the word. Thank you.
And then before I pass you the baton, I just want to read off some of the things that they consider wage theft. Right.
Okay.
So you pay less than minimum wage.
Yep.
You pay less than what was agreed to, including commissions, piece rates, and or regular wages.
Yep.
They take your tips.
Oh.
They don't pay you overtime. They don't pay you for split shifts. They don't pay any promised vacations or bonuses. They don't pay final wages in a timely manner.
Oof. That's a state regulation. You already know.
Deny meal
State by
breaks,
state.
rest breaks, prevent you from having those cool down breaks for those that are eligible for those. They don't allow you to accrue or use sick leave. They take unauthorized deductions from your check. They bounce
Wow.
paychecks,
Wow.
and they don't reimburse for work expenses.
I feel like we got to do a whole nother episode on wage theft because I have so many things to say
I know you
about
do.
those things, right? Wow, bro. Hold on. I'm gonna write it down. We're gonna do wage theft.
Okay.
Wage theft. Thank you for sharing all that stuff. These are all the things that you have to be. This is why we do the show. This is everything Walt just ran through. Is this why we want not only the employees to know, of course, but also the payroll people, so you can understand the flip side. People are getting robbed. Wow, man. Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mine is and we're ready to move, right? It was good. Okay, cool. Mine is again. We always in the same vein. This one, this time I was intentional. I was like, all right, what are we doing? Let me look right, and
Yeah.
I did deductions. But what I found was overpayments and the relationship to deductions, because that
Mm,
is often the situation. And a group of workers in Houston started experiencing these deductions that were like hefty, like up to $300 each in a paycheck.
mm,
And they were like, whoa, where's this coming from? Come to find out that they were overpaid, and these deductions were started without, it seems like in the article, without acknowledgement, without the thing,
mm,
and they started taking the money out of their check, and it was like, whoa, wait. Now I believe it because Texas doesn't, we don't pay income tax in Texas, so they
mm,
don't have a governing body that it makes it employee centric. They're not protecting, not they're not protecting, but they don't have that extra layer of advocacy for the employees. So I could see this happening where company was just no communication. They overpaid. They realized the overpay, and they were like, "Oh, I'm taking it back." Other states, this is what we're calling out, folks, with these deduction type things, state by state, as we go along. Other states regulate that and say, "Hey, you can take it back, but you need to give them communication, notification." Other states, you say you can take it back, but you need their written consent and approval
mm.
before you take it back.
In some states, there's even like a timeline or a
Yeah.
time
Oh,
range,
yes, I
a day
remember
range
that.
that you have.
Oh my
in
gosh,
order to take those
yes.
deductions, right?
Yes. So, and we talked about this on this show, the timeline. I remember you covering that, bro. That was amazing. So all these different factors play in, right? And that's those are the things, those are the gems. That's the free game that we want to share. We want you to make. And guess what? It's already there, right? We're just trying to make it apparent. It's already on your state websites. We're getting the information from good resources. We do this for a living. We have to be sure about our resources. So please believe, like these are the little gems that we want people to know. Deductions are a state by state thing. Some states are more protective than others.
Mm-hmm.
Know where you stand. I'm not saying don't live there. It is what it is. Home is home. But know where you stand. Know how it is. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
that was
Great
mine.
stuff, man.
You right? We
Yep.
killed it. We killing it. All right, let's pay the bills, man. Let's pay
Yes,
some
sir.
bills. All
All right.
right. Shout out to Time Track Go. They keep doing their thing. It's a great system. It's just freestyle a little bit. They have a great system. All right, check them out. They have introduced an innovative new feature designed to simplify time tracking for both exempt and non exempt, meaning hourly and salaried employees. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this feature aligns with the recent changes in the FLSA regarding the new salaried employee rules.
Yeah, so by automatically calculating those standard 40-hour work weeks and accurately, key point, accurately
Yep,
determining overtime when necessary, Time Track Go ensures precise employee time while also maintaining those accurate PTO balances, which we all know is important. You want to make sure your PTO is accurate and
make
correct.
sure my money's right.
Yep. Additionally, the system can identify those instances where non-exempt employees may not have reached, correction, the 40-hour threshold. So to learn more, please contact Contract Go at 888-321-9922, or you can go visit.
Before we move on, I need to let you know about my friend Mark Pfeffer and his show, People Tech. If you're looking for the latest on product development, marketing, funding, big deals happening in talent acquisition, HR, HCM, that's the show you need to listen to. Go to the Work Defined Network, search up People Tech, Mark Pfeffer. You can find him anywhere.
www.timetrackgo.com. That's TIMETRAK go.com. Let's go.
Let's go. We got to tell them to make a dance because the Tine, they can make
Yep.
a dance to it. They could do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they got
Yo, but
a creepy clock icon like from
the wooden clock.
Loki.
Oh, from
From Loki.
Loki. Oh, yes. And then incorporate the wooden clock thing.
Yeah.
Check out the episode with Time Track Go. We literally
Yep.
talk about a wooden time clock, folks. Okay. It's amazing.
Mhm.
I love it, man. I love it. All right. Let's get into it because I have not said today we are talking about deductions in Cali. We did talk about
Mhm.
deductions, but we didn't specify. We're talking about deductions in Cali and what's good to know. So Walt's gonna start us off and I'll
Yep.
finish it up. How we doing on time? All right, we doing
We're good.
good. We
Yeah,
doing
so I just
good.
have a couple of key things to talk about for employees and employers. You can jump in there anytime and add any thoughts that you want, Brian. So for the employers or the payroll or HR professionals, you want to make sure that you're withholding any mandatory deductions. That might be like income tax, state income tax, Social Security, Medicare, FICA, that stuff, state disability insurance, SDI, any local jurisdiction requirements. You want to make sure you're adhering to those. Any voluntary deductions that the employee may have authorized and elected, you want to make sure that you're processing those accordingly, wage garnishments, everything. And you want to make sure that you're compliant. You want to make sure that you are providing itemized wage statements. And you also want to make sure that as an employer or a payroll professional or HR professional, that you're not deducting for business losses or breakage, right? You can't not do that. You can't deduct from a,
They try to
uh,
take that from people's checks,
yeah, some people might, yeah, yeah. And that,
and it's illegal. They can't do that.
yeah, that's what it says in California.
Ooh, that's
Hmm.
all. See what I'm saying? Thanks, bro. Good free
Yeah,
game. Yeah,
yeah,
employees. So keep that in mind.
yeah. So written authorization is required for most voluntary deductions. So you want to know that as the employer and the employee. And as the employer or professional, you want to maintain accurate records for at least 4 years. So if there's an audit and somebody says, "Hey, I want to see the authorization or the written authorization from this employee years ago," you better have it in your records.
Oof.
As we said, comply or fry.
Ooh, comply
So,
or fry.
yep. So time restrictions on final paycheck deductions and final pays. You want to make sure you're adhering to those as well. So for the employee, you want to make sure that you know your rights. What you're protected against. You're protected against illegal deductions. So the employers cannot deduct for their cash shortages, like we mentioned,
Right.
unless proven deliberate. So if the employee is responsible for a cash shortage, then so say, hey, you were doing your register and like $10 are gone from what we should have taken in, then they're saying like if it was deliberate by the employee, then they can deduct it. So I guess if the
But
employee
they got to
stole,
prove that though.
yeah.
Okay.
So it said, yeah,
Yeah.
proven. It said proven deliberate.
Because you can't be like your till is short. Give me $10. What?
So you cannot be deducted for broken or lost equipment. There are some exceptions with this, but uniform costs, you want to do your research on that. There are some uniform
Yeah. All
costs,
this
some
stuff double check,
exceptions.
please.
Business losses, as I said earlier, you want to know that some required documentation is needed. You want to make sure that you receive an itemized pay statement of what's going on. You don't want to just get a pay statement that doesn't have anything. It says, hey, this is just your net pay. You worked 80 hours and this is your gross pay and this is your net pay. They're saying like, where are the taxes? Where are the deductions? What am I paying into? You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you inspect your own payroll records. You want to make sure that you have written notice for any change in your deductions. Your payroll pro or your HR pro cannot just go and change your record without your consent. You want to make sure that what's up?
In Cali, you can't say
Yeah,
what? Can you
it says
repeat that?
it says written notice is required for changes in deductions. Hey, Brian, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
In the HR and payroll world that's filled with so many different systems, what advice would you give to someone who's looking to simplify things?
That is a great question. And it makes me think of this time I was working for a consultant, and it was crazy because all the clients had different systems. A lot of times, like you use one system for all your clients, but no. So I was terrified, and the one system that really stood out to me was Bamboo HR. Made my life so much easier. Do what we did and get a free demo of bamboohr.com/free demo. Get back to doing what you actually love in HR. Go to bamboohr.com/free demo. That's bamboohr.com/free demo. For changes and deduct. Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
Yeah, I got scared. I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta make updates. I gotta make updates here and there. I can't get written for everything.
no, you want to make sure that you're understanding what's mandatory, right? So it's good for you as the employee to educate yourself on what's mandatory. That's again, like I mentioned, those taxes, the local taxes that you're responsible for, Social Security and Medicare, if you're required that because you may be on a visa or some type of student that may be exempt from paying FICA. So you want to know about that as well. You want to know about pre-tax and post-tax deductions, and you want to know what you can do, who you can contact, right? So if you file
Who
a
you gonna
complaint,
call?
you're gonna yeah, you should contact your local labor commissioner's office. And
Oh,
and also know in the state of California there is a 3-year statute of limitations on filing
oh.
a complaint.
So do it in real time. Don't wait 4 years. Like,
Oh
what are you
man,
waiting
like dang it,
for?
10 years later.
You know what? I'm gonna sue these guys.
Yeah. Look and look that's why it's important as the employee to, if you're listening to this, to educate yourself and know what's going on. And then
Yeah.
lastly, you want to know that you're protected against retaliation if you do file a complaint?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I got,
I
man.
I feel like when and thank you for that. That was awesome. Like I had 5 other show ideas just off of the things that you were saying. All right, that's cool. That's awesome, bro. Let me.
So
Yeah,
your wheels are
bro.
spinning.
Oh,
You're like, oh, I want
oh
to
my
talk
god.
about this. I want to talk about that.
Yes. So many. But I'm writing it down, so we're good.
Yeah.
We're good, folks. Yeah, I'm not paying attention. Ooh, a little idea that I just had. I was like, oh, how cool would it be if like I could type and overlay on our stuff in real time,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
because I can show folks that watch on YouTube the thoughts that it's spurring payroll
Yeah.
wise and
Yeah, that'd be
paycheck
cool.
wise for employees, right? That would be dope.
Yeah.
Anywho, it'll come. It'll come. We're almost there. Mine is a lot, some of the same stuff reframed though toward the
Mm-hmm.
employee. I'm talking to the employees now, and I want to tell you about what's allowed, right? Let's just make it really easy, sum it up. What is allowed in the deductions and what's prohibited in the deductions in the state of California, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I liked about the research, and I love about all of our research, really, it just again makes us better. So I have such a cheat code with our
Mm-hmm.
what we do. I wanted to know what it meant. Like, hey, who's covered in this? Who has to abide by the rules, right? Because if you're an
Mm-hmm.
employee, this only applies to you if you work for a private company, a private employer. Okay. And we're going to get to what a private employer meant at the end of this, because I was like, what's a private employer? It's the
Mm-hmm.
curiosity things. That's how you need to be, not only as an employee, but or how can I say, someone about their paycheck. Be curious about everything on there. It's your money. So, anywho, employers
Mm-hmm.
can only make the specific types of deductions from employee wages, such as legal deductions. So anything required by state or federal law, taxes, state taxes, if you live in that state, that type of thing. Okay. Employee approved deductions. If you signed off in writing on these deductions, it can be taken from your pay because you're approving it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could be careful what you're signing to, because you could be signing off on stupid ish and you're like, wait, what? Whoa, you see it come out of your check
Yep.
and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. So be careful, especially as you're getting a job. Oh my gosh, read the
Mm-hmm.
handbook.
Yep.
Employee approved deductions if you wish to sign off in writing. Okay. And then also, these things can include insurance premiums and hospital dues. What I want to say about insurance premiums, benefits, and things, this is
Mm-hmm.
why, folks, and I just connected the dot. This is why we do open enrollment for companies. You're signing to this. You are
Mm-hmm.
signing to, I want to take benefits out of my thing. I want to take this stuff out of my check. Okay. So and there's a lot of regulations around that. We could do a whole nother show on that
Mm-hmm.
type of thing in deductions and benefits. And maybe we should probably
Yeah.
like in January when open enrollment is done. And when people start feeling their check, like, wait a minute, I did, oh my gosh, I picked medical, dental, vision. I picked everything. I was happy that
Yep.
day and I was
Mm-hmm.
so ambitious, like, and now it hits your check and you're like, oh, I want it all. Anywho,
Yep.
you're signing to it. Okay. Union agreements. If you're in a union, their dues. That was one of the articles that I came across in prepping for the show. I picked. It was like, oh wait, do I want this union one or do I want this Houston one? I want the Houston one better. But it was a union thing, and they were fighting about the dues. And then, was it good or not? Was it legit or not? But when you get into a union, you're signing to this. So these are the things that you have. Hey, wait, union dues. Is it coming out of my check or is it covered 100? You know what I mean? You want to
Yep.
understand, because that impacts your money.
Yep.
Tardiness. If you're late by less than 30 minutes, employers can deduct up to a half hour of wages. Whoa. For longer days, they can deduct based on the exact time lost. So I inherently knew this, but I didn't. They calling it out separate, and it makes it more.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
Yep.
So think about that. If you're late by less than 30 minutes, employers can deduct up to the full 30 minutes. You're late
Yep.
20, but I'm deducting 30. Now, I would warn against, check that in your state. I'm sure that is a state by state
Mm-hmm.
variance, so look that up. Unreturned uniforms and equipment. If you don't return company property and company provided items, and you agree to it in writing when you signed on in the beginning when you got the job, employers can deduct the cost of those things from your pay, right? It all comes back to that employee handbook. We gotta keep reiterating how important it is to understand what you're signing when you're getting the job. All
Yep.
these things can impact your pay. So these are allowed deductions, right? Okay, here's
Mm-hmm.
the ones that you're protected against in California. Hey, this is prohibited. Job-related exams, course for pre-employment physicals or medical exams cannot be deducted. Credit card tip fees, the deduction to process the credit card, that cannot be deducted. That's awesome to know because I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure they get petty wop out there with that. Cash or equipment losses, like you were talking about the spillage, right? Deductions for lost cash or broken equipment are prohibited unless it's proven you acted in dishonesty or with severe carelessness. Okay, fair,
Well,
right?
yep.
Commission overpayments. If you receive excess commission in advance, employers can't deduct unless you agree to repay it. Look at that. What?
So I want to go back to line number 3 about the last sentence in there. It
Uh huh.
says, unless it's proven you acted dishonestly
Yep.
or with
Or
severe
careless.
carelessness.
Yeah.
What is severe carelessness and what is dishonest?
So what I thought about right away was like they had you on camera
Mm-hmm.
grabbing a meat slicer and being like, "Bong, boom." Maybe even they got you on audio. F this job. You know what I mean? That is severe carelessness and
So,
dishonesty.
so what if you have a meat slicer and you're picking it up to clean and you look away and you're laughing with your coworkers and then you drop it or
So
something? Is that
again, I'm hoping things are on camera, right? Because then
okay?
that'll be hard to. If we're assuming it's on camera, I would hope that the employer, maybe there's an in between. Maybe it's, hey, you were a little careless.
Hey, everybody, I'm Lori Rudiman. What are you doing? Working? Nah, you're listening to a podcast about work, and that barely counts. So while you're at it, check out my show, Punk Rock HR, now on the Work Defined Network. We chat with smart people about work, power, politics, and money. Are we succeeding? Are we fixing work? Probably not. Work still sucks, but tune in for some fun, a little nonsense, and a fresh take on how to fix work once and for all.
Look, if they're
Yeah,
allowed, but this is prohibited. They can't take it without your approval, your agreement anyway in California.
yeah,
So but that's a great call out because those are the things you want to understand state
yeah,
by state. What I thought you were going to say was on the next item 4, how it calls out only commission overpay. So that's
yeah,
interesting. What do you mean? Wait, regular overpayments? What then? Again, these are the little things that you got to be aware of in the states you live in. And then the last one is prohibited. Again, these are prohibited. Relocation costs. Employers can't deduct costs for moving you to the U.S. So if they choose and they offer you that, hey, it's
hmm
covered, they can't now turn around and deduct it from you.
See how I did you that favor?
Right.
Nah, it's time for some get back.
You so stupid, bro. But see, exactly right. This is a
Yep,
great reason to know what's going on in your state. You know what I
yep,
mean? How do these
hmm
things apply? And man, folks, we just hope there's so many times. I was just talking to a neighbor and he was like, squeaky wheel gets the oil. And I was like, yes, absolutely right. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. And I think I had to explain that to somebody recently. They were like, what does that mean? And I'm like, squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? If you get it,
hmm
we already know.
yep,
People, you speak up enough, you're gonna get something addressed. So, yeah, and Wall says all the time, we might be the one person that had the courage to set
yep,
off that snowball effect and that tidal wave effect where you
hmm
change the whole thing. Like you just literally changed the whole game for everybody else.
yep,
Because one person was courageous enough to be like, hey, this is wrong in my check, folks.
yep,
You know what I mean? If
yep,
we right, hey, if we gave you that little nugget to be like, what? That just happened to me. Let me go look up
Mm-hmm.
what they talking about. And you find out, oh snap, this is not right.
Yeah.
This is, you guys are doing me wrong. Where's my money? And
Mm-hmm.
then at the very least, they should explain it, because there are exceptions to everything.
Yep.
There, sorry, my dog.
Yeah. Let them bark. Go for it.
There are exceptions to everything. So keep
Yeah.
that in mind. And there are penalties, if folks, really quick before we get out of here. There are penalties in California. Violating certain rules, like deducting the cost of pre-employment exams, is a misdemeanor offense in California. This
Mm.
guide can help employees in California stay informed about what can and can't be deducted from their paycheck.
Yep.
Like this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to guide folks. So hopefully you get a little gem. Let's see. Oh, so in California, I promised to define it real quick. In California, private employers, because this all applies only to private employers,
Mm.
refer to businesses or organizations that are privately owned, as opposed to public employers, which are government entities or agencies. So private employers include companies, corporations, partnerships, non-for-profits, and other privately held businesses operating for profit or non-for-profit. So if it's not government, it's a private business pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's, if you basically you work for a private business, if you don't work for the government, these rules apply.
Yep.
And that is it, folks. How did we do on time? Not
We got the
bad.
safe talk question,
Oh, what
man.
do we got for safe talk?
Should gig workers,
Gig workers.
receive the same payroll deduction protections and benefits as traditional employees? And how would this impact California's economy and workforce innovation?
So they don't?
No, because
Well,
gig workers are considered
you
independent
1099, is
contractors.
that what you're saying, gig
Yeah.
workers? Yeah, I don't think, yeah, no. And see, the good thing in Cali, they are, again, very employee centric.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really, if you're a gig worker, you really are a gig worker.
Yep.
You're a contractor, you're a private contractor. I think gig worker downplays
Yeah.
the, I don't know what, the sophistication of, you have to be a little bit more savvy. You got to do a little bit more on your running. If you're 1099, you're like operating a business,
Yeah. Look,
right?
and look, there are still some protections that they have. They may not
I
have all
believe
the
it,
protections as
especially
the
in Cali. I
as the
believe it.
employees. You generally cannot deduct from an independent contractor's payment for damages unless there is a clear contractual agreement
Wow.
allowing for that.
Okay.
So, say that you have a contractor doing something or building something, they break something by mistake. But if it's not written out like, hey, you have to pay us back or we'll deduct from your payment for any damages,
Right.
you can't really deduct from them.
Es- and now, is that everywhere or just in Cali?
This is for California.
Okay. Yeah, I believe it. No, that, look, I love it, man. I really respect Cali for that protection, for their employee centricity.
Yep. Word of the day, centricity.
So, yeah, look, and I think this is a state by state thing, but just again, general
Mhm.
opinion is they should have some protections, but you are, I feel like in the 1099 world, you are your own business. You're
Mhm.
taking a risk. You got to protect yourself. I think that's what they say. Hey, they're saying, hey, you're 1099 and you don't pay your taxes up front because you are taking a risk that you need to protect yourself from.
Mhm.
We'll settle up at the end of the year.
Yep.
So I think you got to take the good with the bad. That's why it's a risky thing. But some moderate protections should be in place for the workforce period. And contractors are absolutely the workforce. Businesses are part of the workforce. This is why some states are tax friendly for businesses to come. And man, I love it, bro. I got to start taking notes down of the show ideas as we kind of go along, because there's so many
Mhm.
things, and not get distracted. So that helps keep us in that 30-minute, that I don't put a whole segment in the show for no reason. Whoa, wait a minute. He's just hoping on a whole tangent.
We both do it, man. We
No
can be
doubt.
long
Not
winded. We can
anymore.
talk forever.
Not anymore. Look, we're only 4 minutes over.
Well,
Yo,
not really,
what?
because we started recording for a little bit and we were still chit chatting before we
Oh,
put it in.
so we're not even. Oh, come on now. We
Yeah,
are efficient, folks. We
we're
delivering the
machines.
product. We're machine. We're machine.
We're AI
Again, man.
augmented.
Yes. I'm at, oh my gosh. Gosh. All right, man. I'm gonna go get these games.
Enjoy, brother.
And yes, you too, man. Folks, thank you. We love you. Till the next time.
All right, go
Peace.
vote. Peace.
Yeah, go vote. Hope you voted.
Before we sign off, here are a couple quick things. Don't forget to follow It's About Payroll on LinkedIn and It's About Your Paycheck on Facebook and TikTok.
Thank you for being part of our payroll community, and thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Gladiator 2 is now streaming on Paramount Plus. Rated R. Years after the death of Maximus, Lucius is forced into the Colosseum after his home is conquered by tyrannical twin Roman emperors. With the future of the empire at stake, he must find strength and honor to return the glory of Rome to its people. Gladiator 2, now streaming on ParamountPlus.com.